Okay, you're on.
Okay, so this is the audio rack. We have a power sequencer unit here that will turn everything on in the correct order. It's just sequencing off. So to turn it on, we have system on. We're going to go on, and it's going to start sequencing on each plug in the back, which is going to turn everything on in the correct order, so we have no pops or hisses or anything like that. So this is our mixing board. These are the wireless receivers for our handheld and our headset. This is our Tascam CD iPod dock. It does CDs, both iPods, the new lightning bolt one and the old 30 pin. Plus it has an aux cable you can plug in. And then we have a drawer to store everything in, including the remote for the CD player, the iPod dock. A mic clip for the handheld mic. That can go onto a standard mic stand. And then the amplifier. The amplifier is locked out on the front, and the gain dials are set all the way on. So if somebody ever turns these down, just turn them, make sure they're all the way back up. To turn it off, we just want to hit system off, and it'll do the same thing in reverse. So you don't have to worry about pretty much anything. Good practice with your mixing console would be to have all your channels down. So these are the faders for each channel, and they're labeled what they are above. So this is your handheld, headset, mic, and so on. When you turn it off, I would recommend turning those all down. Just so you don't get a hiss or a pop when it comes back on. Everything else as far as power buttons on each individual unit, you don't have to worry about. You can just leave them on. So the last item is the amp when it turns back on. So we're on.
Now for the mixer, everything's already been preset, so nobody should be touching these knobs.
Shouldn't have to.
Okay, the only thing is the faders, if I want volume up or down.
So basically for each mic, each channel, each dial is the exact same. So let's say that we're doing the handheld, and I'll grab it here.
It's in the drawer.
Okay. Let's do this while we're here too. The handheld, on the end of the handheld, there's a red button. You want to hold the red button and it'll turn on. Once it's on, it's ready to go. There's a battery indicator light there as well to tell you how much battery is in there. Let's change the batteries. Just unscrew, pop it open, 2 AA's, pop them back in, and away you go. Okay, so with this, you're on now. So you can turn the fader out. This is the trim. You'll see how these ones are pretty much set pretty much at the top. The only ones we've turned down are the ones for the stage because they're a little bit hotter. So this one, check, check, 1, 2, check, test, adjust to where you'd like. And then the only other dials you could adjust are your high and mid.
Okay.
You shouldn't have to though, because we've tuned it. Yeah.
Okay.
Or high and low, sorry.
High and low.
So we've left those all pretty much flat.
Okay.
If you do have somebody with like a big boomy bassy voice, you could turn the highs up a little bit or something like that. But you should be able to remain them flat.
Okay.
So these will be the two that you'll touch. The rest of this stuff, don't even have to worry about. Just keep it.
Because those are monitor ones, right?
Yeah, and there's nothing connected to these. That's for future stuff.
Okay.
And the bottom dials are your pan dials. So if I go to the left, check, check, I'm only coming out the left speaker.
Okay.
If I go to the right, I'm only coming out the right. So make sure those are set
centered
to the top. Yeah. Okay, so that's our handheld. Then to turn it back off, hold the button again. And it's off. Put it back in your drawer.
Is there a mute on that thing?
Not on this microphone.
Okay,
no.
so it's either on or off.
It's on or off, and that is how it will remain. This one, however, and I'll do this too because this is a common one with ladies with hair, as I have hair. So put these on, put the band behind your neck, stretch it in front, and then put it down.
Or you can wear it around your neck.
Yeah, I'd recommend wearing a ponytail too if you can, and if you have earrings on, they can hit the side of this and it'll clack and run straight. So this guy, to turn it on, you open it up, hold the on-off switch, it'll cycle on. The only other thing that you have to remember before you close the door is that the mute here. So if it's set to mute, it's not going to be doing anything. You want that to be off mute. Okay. So on and the mute off. And then just signal. So that will be your headset. Signals on here. Check, check, 1, 2. Check, test, hey, hey, 1, 2, check. Pretty straightforward. Our next ones are, let's show it, turn it off, dude. So open again, hold. that's the headset. The next 4 are, they're actually fed down to this input plate, so you can use anything with a mic line. So these 4 are just mic cables that are routed up and labeled the same up here, 1 to 4
Right.
mic, 1 to 4 mic.
Yeah.
You've got all 4 of your
Nice.
hanging condensers. We've been running them. They got about as loud as they could get before feedback, around 0. We turned the trim down just a little bit because it was a little too hot when we went there. You started to pick up feedback. That should be enough. You just have to
0.
yeah,
Sorry, I'm just gonna see.
and just adjust
Okay,
the taste. Just to adjust the taste.
Okay,
If it is feedbacking, just go here.
go down.
Yeah.
Now, if I get some really wild feedback, is there something I can press? Like,
This
that
is the
stops
master
it?
volume, which
Okay.
will kill everything. So
I'll
if you
just
have
be like getting
if you
crazy
have
frequency.
volume up on everything, yeah,
and
you can
just
turn
stop.
that down.
Okay.
We've been running at about -10.
Okay.
But again, that can be adjusted to taste. So that's those 4. The way they're organized right now is looking at them. So it's 1, 2, 3, and then the back one is 4 when you look at them. So to turn them on. The only other one is the CD iPod dock. So that one is this guy. So if you have a CD, you can put it in there, and then it'll tell you. Do you have a CD actually?
No, I can go grab one.
That would be awesome, and I'll show you how to switch in between. So these will just dock like that.
Akon or scary music?
Okay, so basically how this works is to select between the 3 options, which are your iPod, whether it's 1 or 2, the CD, or the aux cable, which it's just a mini 8th cord you can plug into any phone, computer, whatever, is this button. So it says hold shift, which is this guy here, and press source select to select input. So you hold that one, and then this guy. So you'll see that it switched to CD, because we've got a CD. It's switching to the dock, because we've got a dock. And it'll switch to the aux cable, because we've got an aux. If that's not connected, it won't come up as a selection. And that's same with this. If it's only CD, it'll only give you CD.
Okay.
So it has to be plugged in. Other than that, you've got a play button and a remote that does the same thing. So you can plug an iPod in here and actually switch the songs in here too.
Oh, okay. You can do that for iPod things too.
Yep, you
Now,
kind of.
would it face because the box is here? What if the gym teacher's on the floor? You can.
That
still...
is the one issue because
you have
the
to come
eyeball
up.
is right
Oh,
there.
okay.
So that's something we can look into in the future if we want to add an IR plate out there so you can be pointing it. Yeah, but for now you should be okay. So there's that, and then volume for that is labeled there, so CD iPod dock. What we've done with this amplifier is it has all the control inside it and limiters and stuff. So we set a limiter in there. So we've set it as loud as we think it would ever be, and then it starts to hit a limiter. So it'll never push past a point with the speakers where it will damage them. So if you turn it up really loud, you'll notice it'll start to sound worse and worse. Hear how it sounds distorted now? That's the limiter kicking in. So that'll actually stop it. So if you start to hear it sound like that, the distortion, you're too high. It's too high on the limiter. So, but you should never have it that loud.
Yeah,
And that's pretty much it.
Highs. We should show them.
That's pretty much it. So your master volume here. Like I say, if this is up and you turn your master down, it's going to kill the volume. So that's pretty much it. And then when you're done at the end of the day, just make sure everything's down. You can leave your main volume up wherever you had it. Make sure all these are down. Everything else can be left the same. Turn it off. And it will sequence off. You're off, and you can close it up. Lock it and it's latched.
That's good.
Yeah.
Awesome. And I think I already have an auxiliary cord, so